Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission. We are here this morning for a hearing in docket number 2022-57-T. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioners Caston, Thomas, and Belser. Appearing virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin. Let's recognize our staff attorney, Ms. Mosier, to read this docket, please.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Good morning, commissioners and parties. We are here today for the proceeding in docket number 2022-57-T regarding the application of All My Sons of Myrtle Beach, LLC, for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity. The proceeding has been scheduled for today, May 17th, 2022 at 10 a.m. All parties participating in this matter are available, and the docket is in order. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mosier. Let's take appearances from the parties. Who's representing the applicant today?
Your Honor, David Popowski of the Charleston County Bar.
Good morning, Mr. Popowski. Good to have you with us today. And who is here for the Office of Regulatory Staff?
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Chris Huber. I'm counsel for the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Good morning, Mr. Huber. Thank you for being here today. Are there any preliminary matters we need to address before we begin?
None from the applicant, Your Honor.
None from ORS.
Then, Mr. Popowski, we will recognize you to present your case.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I have with me Joe Grzybowski, who's the operations manager of the applicant. And then as well, I have Rebecca Wolf, who is an office mate and a techs, will be my tech default person if necessary here. I would like to introduce both of those to the commission. Your Honor, this is an uncontested application for statewide authority for the applicant. We have submitted. Our entire case has been filed. I would like to now just share a document that will list the various documents. We have called them hearing exhibits, and perhaps for ease, we might be able to call that one exhibit. Now, it's 90 pages, but it includes the application to some other documents and ends with photos. And I intend to go through them very quickly with Mr. Grzybowski. Primarily on the stand. So let me first share this document. Can everyone see that now?
We can see that, Mr. Popowski. Go ahead.
So these are proposed hearing exhibits. Let me just quickly go through them. The amended application, affidavit of our shipper witness, Deja Barnett, Commission's order directive approving the submission of her testimony by affidavit, the pre-filed testimony of Mr. Grzybowski that includes his resume, and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration document, not documentation, but record of their interstate authority, our second corrected revised tariff, bill of lading, our request to use an electronic bill of lading, and then 14 photos that include the equipment and the premises of the applicant. So I would move the admission of these, all of this as applicant's exhibit 1A and subdivided as sub-exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Mr. Huber, any objection to a composite exhibit of all of these exhibits?
No objection from ORS. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Popowski, we will accept this packet of exhibits as hearing exhibit 1, recognizing that there are subparts, so they'll probably be like 1, 1, 1, 2, that kind of thing. Is that sufficient?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hearing exhibit 1 is marked for identification and received into evidence of this case, consisting of 90 pages. Are you ready for us to, you ready to call your witness?
I am.
Okay.
Your Honor, the applicant calls Joseph Grzybowski.
Okay. Mr. Grzybowski, would you raise your right hand and be sworn in by the court reporter, please?
Yes.
Hang on a second. We're waiting to see you on the screen. Who needs, okay, somebody needs to stop sharing. Is Mr. Popowski, can you
You want to stop sharing?
stop? Yes, stop sharing. Thank you very much. There you go. Madam Court Reporter.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grzybowski. You can put your hand down, and Mr. Popowski, you may proceed.
Mr. Grzybowski, how old are you?
36.
And what is your current employment? Who are you employed with?
All my sons moving in storage.
All right. And All My Sons has several locations in South Carolina. Have you had any experience prior to Myrtle Beach and working at other locations for All My Sons?
Yes, I've worked at the Charleston branch for the last 4 years.
And what was your titles there?
I was the assistant operations manager and then the operations manager.
And would you give the commission just a brief summary of your experience both in the moving business and transportation in general?
Yeah, so I started in 2018 with All My Sons. I went through an extensive 4-month training program in Dallas, Texas. After training, I would join the Charleston branch in assistant operations role with hiring movers, training movers, as well as dispatching, going over the scope of the move with the customers as far as the quotes with the tariff, even familiar with the process of submitting a request for a new tariff. And I've been audited by Mr. Thomas McGill twice a year, so I'm well aware of the regulations for this industry.
Okay. And you will be the chief officer at the applicant's location in Myrtle Beach. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're familiar with all aspects of the moving business. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, Mr. Grzybowski, let me share this document again, and we'll go through quickly. All the documents I'm about to show you, are you familiar with those documents?
Yes.
Okay. So let me share that again. And I am going to quickly go through the application. The amended application has been filed with the commission. And I may, it sets out the company, the address, the chief principal officers of the entity itself. Is that all correct? Stop me if there's anything that I say that is incorrect, okay?
Okay. Yes.
All right, and then it lays out the financial statement, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the tariff we will get to, and you seek statewide authority. Now, it lists currently a description of equipment, a Freightliner, a 2015 Freightliner. Are there any other additional equipment that you have available to you that you will be utilizing?
Yes, we have 3 more trucks now.
Okay. All right, and the insurance quote lays out who your liability and cargo insurance is with, and the insurance carriers that cover it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a certificate of insurance issued to your company. Is that correct?
Yes.
So in regarding safety and exhibit fit, willing, and able that I'm showing right now, at this point, you do not have a safety rating. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but there are no pending judgments against you, and everything else is clean. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what I'm showing you now is from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, known as the Safe Stat Profile of your company, that shows a clean record. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then I'm going to jump to the safety certification. And you are familiar, based on your experience already in South Carolina, with the safety regulations of the state of South Carolina. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. And company's a Delaware corporation doing business in South Carolina, which is so noted in the application. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you your household goods tariff, the amended one that we have filed. You're familiar with this document as your proposed tariff to operate upon approval of the commission. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Let me quickly go through this. And it includes your bill of lading that you intend to use. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you've also, we'll come back to this, have asked the commission for permission to utilize an electronic bill of lading. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, this is the affidavit of our shipper support witness, Deja Barnett, who's a realtor, and has supported this application and says that there's a need for another household goods mover in South Carolina, correct?
Correct.
Okay. This is the directive of the commission. That's already a matter of record, approving that. And what we have here is your pre-filed testimony that you signed and verified, laying out, answering various relevant questions regarding the application, and that you're seeking this authority to provide service for customers throughout the state that are now soliciting your business. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You currently have an authority to carry household goods and interstate commerce through the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration of the U.S. Department of Transportation. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Exhibit A to your testimony, your direct pre-filed testimony is your resume that lays out your background in this industry. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And Exhibit B lays out the motor carrier details for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, indicating that the applicant is already licensed for interstate commerce. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And this is just a repetition of the tariff that has been filed. It's a separate filing of the tariff itself that we have done, as well as the bill of lading, separate and apart from its inclusion in the application itself, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, we're getting to that is again the bill of lading. Exhibit 7 is your request to use an electronic bill of lading, which is consistent with your company's other locations. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Y'all use electronic bills of lading throughout the system in America?
Yes, that's correct. Most states do, to my knowledge.
Okay. Your company and All My Sons, the franchise itself, operates in approximately 30 states in America. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to that's part of our request to use an electronic bill of lading from your company. And let's go to Exhibit A. And let's go to these photos now. Tell us what we're seeing right here.
That's a 26-foot box truck, lift gate and ramp combo, a summer rental through the company rider.
Okay. And this is, just explain each picture as I click it on, please.
That's just a front view of the same vehicle.
And this,
That is a side view of the vehicle.
this,
That's the front view of another vehicle.
that is,
The side view.
and same thing.
Yes, sir.
What is this?
That is the back of the vehicle.
Okay. All right, explain what we're looking at here. Can you see that? Mr. Grzyskowski? Have I lost? Can everybody else hear me?
Mr. Popowski, we can hear you at the commission. I'm not sure where the witness went. He dropped off. You need to, let's see if we can get him back.
Let me give him a minute and then I will try to call him. He may have a location issue.
We're not going to leave, but we will stand at ease for just until we can get him back. So,
All right, I'm back.
Oh, thank God. What are we looking at here, Mr. Grzybowski?
All right, that is the equipment on the vehicle. We have our pads, our moving blankets. We have our box dollies, our four-wheel dollies, our floor runners, our ladder, as well as some protective materials and some straps and some packing tape, shrink wrap.
Okay. How about here?
It's a similar thing, just on another vehicle. So it shows our packing tape, our straps, our pads, as well as our four-wheel dollies and box dollies.
And what are we looking at here?
That is our physical office here in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. And this picture?
At the front view of the parking lot, staff parking.
What is this?
That is inside the warehouse, so it shows our packing equipment as well as where we do our training and hiring events.
And here?
That is our packing material organized.
Very nicely. And what is this?
This is the dispatch room, so it has our tablets. So when we get our electronic bill of ladings, it has our card readers as well as our clipboards. It has our paper logs as well as our temperature log binder for temp checks in the mornings.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing this at this time. Is that okay, Madam Vice Chair?
yes, Mr. Popowski, that's fine.
Okay. And based on this testimony, this evidence, Mr. Grzybowski, could you click video, or are you there?
I'm not sure why it kicked me off, and my video will not let me leave from preview only.
Oh, all right, that's okay then.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
Popowski.
sorry.
We need to see him. The court reporter
Okay.
needs to be able to see the witness. So,
All right, one moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, very good.
we've got you now.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you. And we have provided, with this documentation, do you believe the applicant is fit, willing, and able to provide the proposed service, Mr. Grzybowski?
Yes.
And the public convenience and necessity requires an additional mover in South Carolina? Is
Yes,
that
it
correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, that is all the questions the applicant has, Madam Vice Chair, and will Mr. Grzybowski answer any other questions, please, of the Office of Regulatory Staff or the Commissioner staff?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Huber.
No questions for ORS. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huber. Commissioners. Mr. Grabowski, I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Who owns the company? Who owns All My Sons of Myrtle Beach?
We're a national chain, so it's our corporate office. Would know specifically who owns us. It's All My Sons DBA,
Okay.
but that's all I know.
Well, I mean, in your testimony, it says AMS Group Holdco LLC. But I thought I heard the term franchise. But all of the entities in South Carolina, like Columbia, Bluffton, and then North Carolina, Charlotte, that has South Carolina Authority, that they're all owned by AMS Group. It's not that y'all are doing franchises for other
No,
entities.
it's not a buy-in like a franchise now.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that. Do you have a copy of the packet of well, and you may not need it. I'm curious about the electronic bill of lading. I noted that on the second page of the document that's in Exhibit 1, it says a post-move email is sent containing delivery receipt acknowledgement and itemization of all final services. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So if you use the electronic bill of lading, the customer is given documentation post at the end of the move.
That's correct. As soon as they sign that it's delivered, they instantly get an email receipt
Okay, and that
and a
base,
breakdown of it.
does that include all the information in there of hours, mileage, everything that's on the bill of lading?
Exactly. Yes, it does.
Okay. And then I noted that if someone doesn't have an email, I believe, what's the process if someone does not have an email?
I keep blank paper BOLs in each of the clipboards just in case.
Okay.
And then in that event, my crew would handwrite out the BOL and get the acknowledgements and everything signed.
Okay. Do you just use the handwritten one at that time, the handwritten bill of lading? Or do you also have an
Correct.
electronic copy?
That's correct. The handwritten paperwork is just in case.
Okay. Okay. And I know we have the affidavit of your shipper witness. What do you see in South Carolina? You're asking for statewide authority. What do you see in South Carolina and in the Myrtle Beach area that leads you to believe that another mover is needed here?
Okay, so every summer we can't even take on as many moves as we would like to. There's just not enough capacity. We can't hire enough. We can't get enough trucks. So companies are constantly booking out. So customers are scrambling, calling, hey, can you please squeeze me in? There's canceled. The cancellation ratios are high when people don't come in for other companies. So we get same day moves as well. And there's just a lot of movement around. Everything's building up and growing. People move here, realize they don't like it, and they want to go a little bit more inland to, say, Greenville or Spartanburg or Clemson area. So there's just a lot of moving around. There's so much building, there's so much moving, and there's just not enough movers.
Okay. And you mentioned that y'all have 3 additional trucks other than the Freightliner that was listed on the in the original or in the amended application. Are those box trucks or are those like semis with trailers?
No, they're all 26-foot box trucks.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your testimony. Commissioners, any other commissioners?
Vice Chair Bells.
Commissioner Caston.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The assets, I noticed you listed $125,000 assets, I think $100,000 cash, $25,000 assets and equipment, and 0 liabilities. Is that correct?
Yes, as it was listed.
Sounds pretty good. All righty, thank you. No other questions?
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioner, Mr. Popowski, do you have any redirect?
No, I do not. I just would simply add, I misspoke when I used the term franchise. Is not a franchise. He's not a franchisee, and I think he testified and explained how the ownership of the company works. So I would apologize for misspeaking and misusing the word franchise. With that, Your Honor, we have no further witnesses, and we believe we have presented a complete and full case in chief to justify the approval of this application.
Thank you, Mr. Popowski. As you've rested your case, we'll recognize the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Madam Vice Chair, may I use the podium on the right side of the room?
Wherever you're most comfortable, Mr. Huber, just give us a chance to get the right camera on you.
And while under the ORS calls as first witness, Mr. Thomas McGill.
Mr. McGill, if you'll come forward. And Mr. Huber, let's just make sure we've got a camera on you, and I'll wait for confirmation from the back of the room. There we go. Mr. McGill, would you raise your right hand and be sworn in by the court reporter, please?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Okay. Please proceed, Mr. Huber.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Mr. McGill, will you please state your full name and occupation?
My name is Thomas McGill, and I'm employed by the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff as the Transportation Manager of the Broadband Communications and Safety
Mr.
Department.
McGill, I'm not sure if your microphone is on. I don't see a light. And
I see. Is that better?
yes.
Okay.
Can you start again, please?
Yes. My name is Thomas McGill. I'm employed by the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff as the Transportation Manager of the as the Broadband Communications and Safety Department.
Are you the same Thomas McGill who pre-filed 4 pages of direct testimony in this case on May 16th, 2022?
Yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections to your pre-filed testimony?
I do not.
If I asked you the same questions today as those posed in your pre-filed testimony, would your answers be the same?
They would.
Madam Vice Chair, ORS asked that the pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Thomas McGill be entered into the record of this case as if given orally from the stand.
Mr. McGill's pre-filed written testimony will be entered into the record as if given orally.
Mr. McGill, did you perform an inspection of the applicant's equipment and place of business?
Yes, I did.
Have you reviewed the applicant's proposed tariff and bill of lading?
I have.
Based on your review and inspection, are you of the opinion the applicant will meet the requirements of fit, willing, and able?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Madam Vice Chair, Mr. McGill is now available for questions from the parties and the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Huber. Mr. Popowski, any questions for Mr. McGill?
None from the applicant.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. McGill? Hearing none, I suppose there's no redirect.
No, Madam Vice Chair.
Mr. McGill, you get off light today.
Thank you.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Huber, anything else from the Office of Regulatory Staff?
No, Madam Vice Chair. That concludes ORS's presentation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Popowski, anything else from the applicant?
None, Your Honor. Again, just to reiterate, we believe we have provided ample evidence for the approval of this application.
Well, hearing that everything is concluded with this hearing, we will close this hearing and we will have this matter on an upcoming agenda. Thank you all for your appearance today. This hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.